शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। Hari Om, a very blissful Friday and holy morning to every one of you. Welcome to this beautiful, gorgeous, most auspicious, holiest of the holy temples which is within our own selves. My loving pranams at the divine lotus feet of my Guru, Papa Swami Ramdas of Anandashram, Kanjangad, Kerala, and my beloved parents. Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Having offered our prayers and salutations to Bhagavad Pada Adi Shankaracharya, we have prayed for Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu. I hope all of you remember the meaning of it. Make both the teacher and the student put all the efforts to learn as much as possible. So we need to have a lot of concentration and listen to this with focus. Of course, the coming part is not actually that important because it is not for our sadhana as such, but for our understanding. Till now, he talked about Atma and Anatma. In the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, Krishna explains. There he says Purusha and Prakriti, or Kshetra, Kshetrajna and Kshetra. Kshetra is, the meaning of the word is the field where we work. The same here, this is the body. This is the field where the Atma works. So body, mind, intellect, sense organs and the rest of the universe, everything comes under that field or Kshetra, Prakriti, etc. Then Kshetrajna. Jna means knows, one who knows. One who knows this Kshetra is Kshetrajna. So that is about Atma. So here Kshetra is Anatma, Kshetrajna is Atma. So we'll just see once again the differences between Atma and Anatma. Anatma is our body, mind, intellect complex as well as the world that we see. We have already learnt that this doesn't have its own sentiency. It is consisting of matter, elements, only chemical elements. It's made up of only chemical elements which do not have their own chetana. Or this is achetana. Anatma is achetana. Atma is chetana. This is the main difference between Atma and Anatma. Chetana. Atma is chetana. Anatma is achetana, or sentiency, no sentiency at all. Then this Anatma borrows the sentiency from Atma and then starts working. For any kind of activity, one has to have that chetana. As we have studied, this body is achetana, but it takes that chetana from the Atma and then lives and does a variety of activities. This is the first difference. Second difference is Atma is immortal. It is permanent. Anatma is mortal. It perishes. It gets destroyed. Body gets destroyed. Mind, buddhi, all these get destroyed. Finally, the world also, the universe also gets destroyed. One day it gets destroyed, whereas Atma does not get destroyed at all. There is no end at all for it, so you call this as Ananta. Similarly, Atma does not have any beginning at all. So that is Anadi as well as Ananta. Then, Atma does not have any qualities or attributes. Anatma has lot of attributes, many attributes. Mainly the three gunas are there: Sattva, Raja, Tama. We'll see them once again later. So Atma does not have any attributes. Then what are these? Sat, Chit, Ananda that we talked about, what are they? Are they not attributes? No, they are not attributes of Atma. That is the nature of Atma. To give an example between nature and quality or attribute, lion. Hunting is the nature of lion. It is not a quality. It is a nature of every lion to hunt. Whereas the quality may be one lion is very tall, another is very short, one is fat lion, another is very thin lion, another one is very ferocious lion, another is not that ferocious. These are all different qualities. Whereas the nature is hunting. So there is difference. Similarly, Atma does not have any attributes or any guna or any quality at all. It is nirguna. Sat, Chit, Ananda, these three are its nature. It is not, they are not qualities. What is Sat? Which exists in all the three period of time: past, present and future. What exists? That is Sat. Only one thing exists, that is Atma. So that is nature of Atma. Second one is Chit. Chit is, we call it as consciousness. We have learned that Chit is Jnana Swarupa, knowledge. When we have the knowledge of this self-knowledge or Atma Jnana, Atma Sakshatkara, Paramatma Sakshatkara, so many different names are given. Liberation, realization, so many varieties of names are given to the same thing. When we get this kind of self-knowledge, it is as good as having all the other knowledge. If at all we have one worldly knowledge, for example, one cooking, we have the knowledge about cooking. That does not mean that we have the knowledge about everything else, only about cooking. That too, only a few dishes. Whereas, if you have the self-knowledge, then it is as good as having all variety of knowledge. Because the nature of it is Jnana Swarupa. That is why a Jnani says, universe or prapancha is in me. Whereas we Ajnanis say, I am in the world. Don't we say, I am in Bangalore, I am in the world. Whereas Ajnani says, the world is in me. Now for us, even if there is one small wound in the tip of the small finger, it pains. How do you know it pains? It is my body, my part of my body, my little finger. So I am able to make out whether there is pain or not. In the same way, when the Jnani feels or experiences the whole world in himself or herself, then whatever happens in the world will be known to Jnani. That is how Shirdi Baba used to say, you go back today. You don't go, you stay for a week. So many different incidents that we read. Wherever he said you go and the person has gone, yes, somebody was waiting for him. And where he said you go after a week, a lawyer, he says you go after a week. But the lawyer actually had some court case that particular day. But he said no, you go after a week. So after a week when he went, he learnt that judge was on leave. So Baba knew about it. Because the nature of that Atma is Jnana Swarupa. Everything will be known. And the third one is Ananda, bliss, Sukha Swarupa, always happy. But Baba was not looking happy for us. He was very angry with some people. He used to shout at some people. Now also we see there are so many Jnanis who are not always smiling. My Guru, Papa Swami Ramdas was always smiling. But that doesn't mean that everybody is same. Because all Jnanis, you cannot put them in one frame. They do not fall under one particular category like this. You cannot say he is a Jnani, so he should be like this. No. It is up to the individual. So here, Ananda Swarupa. Internally, that person is always happy. Externally, he may appear or he may do that kind of drama for the sake of the world. But internally, that person, Jnani, is always happy. So Sat Chit Ananda, these three are not attributes. That is the nature. So we say that Atma is Nirguna, no guna at all, whereas Anatma has got Saguna. All varieties of gunas are there. Don't we have? So many qualities we have. Whether good or bad, we have so many. World has got so many qualities. There is no change at all in Atma. It is Nirvikara. Vikara means change or transformation, whatever you call. Nothing of that sort in Atma. Whereas Anatma, see the body. What it was yesterday, today it is different. Few years back, it was different. Today it is different. Tomorrow it will be different. Every fraction of a second there is change within the body. Some are visible, some are not visible, some are experienceable, some are not experienceable, and so on. But definitely, Anatma always has change. Continuously, world is changing. So these are the difference between Atma and Anatma. Now this is at the individual level. At each individual level, if you take up, for example, we call ourselves. This is body and Atma. That means Atma, Anatma. At every individual level, we are all mixture of Atma and Anatma. Like how you say electricity and a gadget. Fan will not run just like that. Electricity is needed for it. And if electricity is there, any of the gadgets are not there, that also is of no use, because we cannot even make use of that electricity in any gadget if we don't have gadget. Both are needed. It is a mixture of electricity and gadget. Similarly, we are all mixture of Atma and Anatma. Now we see the creation of the universe. Srishti, we call it as Srishti. Actually speaking, it cannot be used. Srishti is not the right word, or creation is not the right word. Manifestation of the universe. Because our Sanatana Dharma says that from nothing, from Shunya, only Shunya can come. World has come. According to the modern science, Big Bang Theory. Suddenly there was a huge sound and the world appeared. World was created. Our Vedanta says, no, this is not possible. This is not the way. Matter and energy can neither be created nor destroyed. This is pure science. Vedanta knew this science earlier itself. So it is said that, according to our Shastras, the world that we see, what we call it as gross world or Stula Prapancha, existed earlier itself, but in a different form, unmanifest form or potential form. Like how we said Karana Sharira is the potential form of Sukshma and Stula Sharira. This we have already learned. So, in the similar way, Vedanta says that There is Karana Prapancha. From Karana Prapancha, Sukshma Prapancha and Sthula Prapancha evolve. Karana Prapancha has got Sthula and Sukshma Prapancha in potential form. Just like how a tree, mango tree comes from a mango seed. Does it come from nothing? Definitely it has come from a mango seed. This much common sense we have. The same sense if we apply here, same theory if we apply here, that Karana Prapancha is like a seed. It consists of Sukshma Prapancha and Sthula Prapancha in potential form or Avyakta. It is not yet manifested. So this Karana Prapancha, our Shastras give the name as Maya. So the modern scientists are still researching about what? What was there before the existence of this world? Before the world came into existence or Srishti, before that what was there? They are still doing the research. So many thousands of years back, our Upanishads and Vedas have declared that it existed in Maya, Avyakta form. Now, like how Atma and Anatma at the individual level or at the micro level or at the Vyashti level. In the same way, we have at the cosmic level, the Brahmanda level or the macro level. That Atma we give the name as Brahma. We know that Brahma is Nirguna. Brahma is Nirvikara. No change at all in Brahma. Or Atma we have learned, it is the same thing at the cosmic level. Instead of the individual level, we now take it to the cosmic level or at the level of Brahmanda. Pindanda or Andanda is individual level, whereas Brahmanda is at the cosmic level or macro level. So this Jivatma, now we call this as either as Paramatma or Brahma. Now since we know that Brahma cannot have any changes, he is Nirvikara. How did he create then? He cannot have any changes there. So, our Shastras say that Brahma with Maya is a mixture there. Maya is Anatma. Once again it has Guna, Vikara, everything is there now. Or we call this Maya as creative energy of that Brahma. Creative energy of Paramatma is given the name as either Karana Prapancha or Maya. That is why we worship her, Maya, as Mahamaya. Even in Lalita Sahasranama we come across this, Mahamaya. We worship her because of this Maya only we are existing today. But like how Anatma will be destroyed, Maya also can be destroyed. Maya is also mortal, whereas Brahma is immortal. Paramatma is immortal, Maya is mortal or can be destroyed. When we get this self-knowledge. So we must understand whatever happens here at the individual level or at the micro level happens at the macro level or at the Brahmanda level. At the individual level, Atma and Anatma mixture. At the Brahmanda level or cosmic level, we call this as Brahman and Maya. That's all the difference is. Now we will see how the creation or actually manifestation takes place. Not that we have to remember each and every thing how it is formed, but for our understanding he is explaining. Atha chaturvimshati tattva utpatti prakaram vakshyamaha. Chaturvimshati tattva. Chaturvimshati is 24. Vimshati is 20. Chatur is 4. So 4 plus 20, 24 tattva. How utpatti, how that is created, I will explain. What are these 24 principles or tattvas? first 5 Pancha Mahabhutas. We have learnt about the Mahabhutas or the 5 great elements. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi. These are the 5 Mahabhutas. The world is made up of only this 5 bhutas or 5 elements. Our chemistry periodic table, there are some 118 elements are there. So science talks about so many elements, whereas our Shastra says basically there are only 5 elements, which they call them as Pancha Mahabhutas. And the next Pancha Jnanendriyas, Pancha Karmendriyas, Pancha Vayu. So altogether 20. Then Manasu, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. These 4 put together called as Antahkarana, inner organ. So altogether 24. I repeat, Pancha Mahabhutas 5, Pancha Jnanendriyas 5, Pancha Karmendriyas 5, Pancha Vayus 5. So altogether now 20. Then Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. These 4 put together Antahkarana. So these 4, when you add them together, it is 24. What is he talking about? These 24 tattvas represent what? They represent our universe. Universe consists of these 24 elements. So he says, I am going to explain these 24 elements to you. Brahmashraya Satvarajastamo Gunatmika Maya Asti. He says, this Maya, which is the first pada you see, Brahmashraya. Brahma Ashraya. Based on Brahma. That means Maya cannot be there by itself. It is dependent on Brahman. Only when Brahman is there, Maya is there. Maya is based on Brahma. Brahmashraya Sattva-rajas-tamo guna atmika Maya asti. 3 gunas are there for this Maya. We have learnt about Sattva, Raja, Tama in the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Anyway, you don't have to know exactly what we learnt there. We don't have to remember, so no worry about it. Now, Sattva, Raja, Tama, it is there in all of us. Whatever you see in this world consists of these 3 because we have come from that Maya. Sattva is knowing capacity or knowing faculty, jnana shakti. Raja is giving response or responding or activity, performing some activity. So we call this as kriya shakti. And the third one is tama. Tama is inertia, or we can use the word rest. Here we have to take rest. Everywhere we are using these gunas, but we don't give any importance to that. As I said, sattva is knowing faculty, jnana shakti. Not that we have to learn tattvabodha and then do manana of that. Not talking about all those. Our daily activities. I am walking on the road. Right in front of me, there is a car coming. So the eyes are perceiving that. Oh, car is coming. Eyes are looking at the car and eyes send message to the brain. Car is coming. Now the brain performs the required activity there and sends message to the legs to move to the side. So we move to the side. Anything you take, rather from morning till night, we are doing the same thing. Jnana Shakti does not mean that we have to sit and study something. Just perceiving from the world. Listening to a music. Oh, then I realize, oh, this is my favorite bhajan. When we keep milk for boiling, Generally, this is what happens to all of us. We keep it in on stove and then we stand there. No, it is not boiling. Oh, somebody has rung the bell. I just, for a fraction of a second, I went there to open the door. What happened? It spilled. This we all generally experience almost on a daily basis, however careful we are. If we are there right in front of that, we see that milk boiling there or coming up in the vessel. Then immediately we switch off. See how much of process is going on here. Eyes look at that milk coming up and send the signal to the brain. Brain works on that and then sends a signal to the hands to lift that or to switch off the stove. So this is what is Jnana Shakti and Kriya Shakti. Jnana through eyes and Kriya through the Karmendriya, either the hands or legs or whatever it is. This continuously we are doing. Just right from getting up, we are doing this. How long can we go on doing this? We will be tired. So we need to take rest. Then we need that tamoguna. If that tamoguna does not become dominant, then we will not be able to sleep at all. So how thankful we are to that tamoguna. Oh, because of you I am able to sleep. Anyway, this is about the three gunas, sattva, raja, tama. In our day-to-day life, how we are using it. So he says, this Maya has got these three gunas. And Maya also has, he has not mentioned about it here, Maya also has two different Shaktis. One is Avarana. This we have already actually learnt while learning about Sri Chakra. One is Avarana or hiding capacity. And the other one is Vikshepa, projecting. What exactly does it hide? Assume that I am walking on the road in the night alone and I see a snake on the road. Then I get scared. How will I go? But I have to go. So chanting Rama, 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 I go near that. Oh, this is only a rope. It is not snake at all. It is only a rope. Now see, two things have happened there. When I looked at it from far off distance, that actually it is a rope. That principle is hidden over there. But the snake, it looked like snake for me. It has projected as snake. For me, it looked like snake. Actually, it is rope. The rope is hidden. Snake is visible to me. When I go near only, I understand that it is only a rope. So this is called Maya. Hiding something or hiding the truth and projecting something which is actually not there. This is what is happening to us now. Actually, it is Brahman. The whole universe is Brahman. Everybody is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. But that is hidden there. Are we able to see Brahman anywhere? Even if you go to temples, even if you see any statues, do we see Brahman there? We see a particular statue. Wow, the temple is so beautiful. Wow, so many people are there. Statue is so beautiful, beautifully decorated. Fine. But did we see Brahman there? No. We do not see Brahman anywhere. So the Shastras call this as Maya. What is visible to us? This person, that person, this place, that place, all these, this thing, that thing, these are visible to us. Actually, that is not. Actually, it is Brahman. So, Brahman is hidden from us and the world is projected. So, these two are two different types of Shaktis that Maya has got. That is what is playing now. We call magic as Maya Jal. Jal is net of Maya. So let us see what he says next. Tata akashaha sambhutaha. Tata means from that. From that means from which one? Just now he talked about Maya. So from that Maya, akashaha sambhutaha. Now he is explaining to us how these Pancha Mahabhutas are created or manifested. Anyway, we use the word created. Once again here, he is talking about the Sukshma Prapancha, not the Akasha that we see. The moment Akasha word is heard, we simply think that it is sky. Sky is not that. Akasha here, this is space. So Akasha means space here. Tata, from Maya, Akashaha sambhutaha. Akasha is formed or Akasha gets manifested from Maya. He is giving in a sequential manner which comes first. Why Akasha comes first? Akasha, among the Panchamahabhutas, this is the subtlest one, the most sukshma, whereas Prithvi is the grossest one. The sthula, maximum sthula, highest sthula is Prithvi, highest sukshma or subtlest is Akasha. Now Akasha is connected with, or it has an attribute called Shabda. We have already learnt about Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. They are known as Pancha Tanmatras. Pancha Tanmatra Sayaka. We have already studied this in Lalita Sahasranama. One of the names of goddess Lalita is Pancha Tanmatra Sayaka. What are these Tanmatras? Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. That is Vishaya, matter for different Jnanendriyas. So here Akasha is connected with the sound. Sound is connected with ear. Quality or attribute of Akasha is only one, that is sound. Sound is existing in this Akasha always. I repeat that. Sound is existing in this Akasha always. Are we able to hear? We are able to hear only when somebody talks or some sound or noise is there, only then. Our Shastras say that the sound of Om, Omkara, is continuously existing in this space. Just a few years back, scientists have declared, the modern scientists have declared that there is a sound near sun, near Surya. There is a sound which is like Om. Just a few years back, our great scientists called our saints or jnanis of Sanatana Dharma have declared so many years back, not only near sun, everywhere it is there. The Om sound is there. Go to a deep forest. You can hear that Om sound. Sit near the beach. You can hear that Om sound. So does it mean that only in the oceans or the deep forest that sound exists? Our Shastras say not only there, everywhere Om sound exists. Why are we not able to hear? This also we know. The ear has the capacity of a particular bandwidth from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz or something. I'm not very sure about that bandwidth. Only that frequency our ear can perceive. Lesser than 20 hertz or more than 2K, it is not able to hear. So probably Om is either below that or above that. That means it is not falling in that bandwidth. But then people say when they go into Samadhi, then they hear that Om sound. That is why we have given, our Sanatana Dharma has given so much of importance to this Omkara. And our Shastras say that the words that we speak, you are not creating the word. Om is existing there. The formation of your mouth, you are changing, modifying or altering that Omkara to different words or sound. Like how you say, white color is a combination of 7 colors. When you see it is only white color, but you pass that white color through a prism. Probably 7th or 8th standard physics we have learnt this. Practical also we have done. Pass a white ray through a prism. Then you get 7 different rays of different colors. In the same way, our Shastras say that Omkara is the base sound. And whatever we speak is the modification of that Omkara. Now here, Akasha or space or ether, Shabda, one of the Tanmatras, and ear, sense organ, these 3 are connected together. We are not talking about the ear Golaka, not the Sthula ear. I am talking about the Sukshma. When we learnt about Sukshma Sharira, we have learnt about it. What we see, this ear is called as Golaka. It belongs to the Sthula Sharira or the gross body. The capacity to hear, the Shakti which exists there to hear whatever we listen to, that comes under Sukshma Sharira. So here he talks about Panchamahabhutas and later he talks about the Jnanendriyas, all in Sukshma only, in the subtle form. He is not talking about the Akasha that we see. He is talking about the Sukshma form of Akasha. So he says, Tata Akashaha Sambhutaha. From this kind of Maya, which is Brahmashraya and which has got Sattva, Raja, Tama, Atmika, that Maya, from that Maya, Akashaha Sambhutaha. First one is Akasha. Akashat Vayuhu. From Akasha, Vayu, air. So the second element is air. Now air has got its own quality. That is Sparsha. Shabda was quality or attribute of Akasha. Now Sparsha, the second one. Sparsha is the quality of Vayu. Since Vayu has come from Akasha, it also has attribute of Akasha which is Shabda. So Vayu now has got 2 qualities. One is Sparsha of its own and from the parent. Parent is Akasha. So from Akasha it has got that quality called Shabda. So it has got 2 qualities, Shabda and Sparsha. And Sparsha is connected with the sense organ, skin. So we can say that Vayu, Sparsha, skin. These 3 are one set. Next, Vayoha Tejaha. From Vayu. From Vayu, Teja. Teja is Agni or fire. From Vayu came Agni. Agni has got its own quality. Quality is Rupa, form. We can see Agni. Can we see space? Can we see air? We can see Agni. So Agni has got its own quality or attribute called Rupa or form. It has got qualities from Akasha as well as Vayu, the previous ones. So Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa. These 3 qualities exist in Agni. Tejasaha, Apaha. From Tejas, last fourth one, Jala. Apa is water. From Agni came water. So water has its own quality called Rasa. Rasa is taste. This is not the formation of the water that we see. What we see, water is sthula form. Now he is talking about the sukshma form of water. He is talking about sukshma panchamahabhutas, not the sthula bhutas. So water has got the quality called taste, rasa. Rasa is taste. Like how we said, Omkara is the basic sound. From that, all the sounds emerge. Here, tastelessness. No taste at all. That is the quality of this water which is in Sukshma Rupa. From there, all the other tastes are evolving. Now, water has its quality called rasa, but from the previous bhutas, it gets shabda, sparsha, rupa, and then its own quality called rasa. And the last one is prithvi. So, from water, prithvi. Adbhyaha prithvi. From water, prithvi is created. Now, prithvi has got its own quality. Prithvi, each bhuta has got its own quality and the previous qualities from the previous elements also. So, this has got the quality called smell. Gandha. It has its own quality of gandha and it gets the qualities from the parents, grandparents, etc. So, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, all the 5 qualities are there in Prithvi. We need not remember each and everything, but for you to remember, we can hold our hand like this and the center one which is topmost, this represents Akasha, next is Vayu, thumb represents Agni, this represents, little finger represents Jala and the ring finger represents Prithvi. Akasha is the subtlest one, Prithvi is the grossest one. Sukshma, this is the Sukshma, it has got only one quality called Shabda. The next one is Vayu, it has got its quality Sparsha and it gets from the previous one also. So, Shabda and Sparsha, these are the 2 qualities of Vayu. And similarly, next Agni. Rupa is its own form, its own attitude, but it gets from the previous ones also. So, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa. So, Agni has 3 qualities. Then Jala and Prithvi. So, Prithvi has all these qualities. These are the 5 Panchamahabhutas. So, he says this is how they are created. Let us see what he says next. एतेषां पंचतत्वानां मध्ये आकाशस्य सात्विक अंशात् श्रोत्रेन्द्रियं सम्भूतम्. How the Sukshma Indriyas are formed. Now, we have just now seen that Maya has got 3 qualities, Sattva, Raja, Tama. Now, think that these Pancha Mahabhutas have come from Maya or they are all the children of Maya. Children inherit properties from Maya. So, all the Pancha Mahabhutas are inheriting the qualities of Maya, Sattva, Raja, Tama. So, Akasha has got Sattva Akasha, Raja Akasha, Tama Akasha. 3 departments in Akasha. Similarly, 3 departments in Vayu. Sattva Vayu, Raja Vayu, Tama Vayu. Similarly, Agni, 3 departments. Jala, 3 departments. Prithvi, 3 departments. Based on Sattva, Raja, Tama, which are the qualities of their mother, Maya. Now, only the Sattvika Amsha of each and every element is taken. I repeat that. Each element, each bhuta has got 3 qualities or let us say 3 departments. Sattva department, Raja department and Tama department for each and every element or each and every bhuta of these Panchamahabhutas. Now only consideration is only about Sattvika Amsha, not talking about Raja or Tama. Now he says, Akashasya Sattvika Amshat Shrotrendriyam Sambhutam. So pick up only the Sattvika Akasha. From that, As I said just now, Akasha, Shabda and ear are connected. So he says, Shrotrendriyam Sambhutam. This Indriya, not the Golaka, not the Stula Deha, but the capacity to hear. That is created by Satvika Amsha of Akasha. Similarly, Vayoho Satvika Amsha. Now every element only Satvika Amsha is considered. Why Satvika Amsha is connected with Jnanendriyas? Sattva is receiving or collecting information. Jnana Shakti is Sattva. With the help of ear, we are receiving information. With the help of our skin, we are receiving information from the world. Or all these Jnanendriyas are perceiving, receiving information from the world. That is why with the help of only Satvika Amsha of each and every element, different sense organs, Sukshma Rupa is created. Vayoha Satvika Amsha Tvagindriyam Sambhutam. From the Satvika Amsha, Satvika department of Vayu, what is created? Tvak. Tvak is skin. So skin, Vayu, Sparsha. These three are one set. Then Agneha Satvika Amsha Chakshurindriyam Sambhutam. From the Satvika department of Vayu, eyes are formed. Not the eyes which are visible here. The capacity to see through the eyes. That is created. Chakshu, Indriyam. We call that as Indriya. That is created. Jalasya Satvika Amshat Rasanendriyam Sambhutam. Jala, from water. Once again, Satvika department of water. Rasanendriyam, the capacity of the tongue to taste. That is created. Prithivyaha Satvika Amsha Granendriyam Sambhutam. From the Satvika department of Prithvi, Granendriya, the capacity to smell, not the visible nose, but the capacity of the nose to smell. That is created Prithivyaha Satvika Amshat. So this particular department is only considering Satvika Amsha of each and every Panchamaha Bhuta. So like this, Rajasika Amsha is there, Tamasika Amsha also is there. From the Satvika Amsha, Jnanendriyas are created. From the Rajasika Amsha, later we get to know Karmendriyas are created. Because what is Rajoguna? Doing something. For doing something, we need the Karmendriyas. That is why the Raja department is connected with Karmendriya. Now, Sattva department is connected with Jnanendriyas. Let us see the next one. Etesham panchatattvanam samashti sattvikamshat manobuddhyahankara chittantaha antakaranani sambhutani. Each and every element he has taken and he says this is what is created. Each and every Jnanendriya is created in this way. However good my ear is, however perfect my ear is, it can do only one job of hearing. Can I use my ears for seeing something or tasting something? Can I taste through my ears? Can I see through my ears? It is only used for hearing because it is connected with Akasha Tattva. Now, mind, buddhi, smriti or our memory. Think of all these. Mind should be connected with all the indriyas. If I simply say mind is used only for hearing, it is of no use then. So mind, buddhi. What about ahankara? What is ahankara? We will see later. Smriti. If I am able to keep it in my memory, what I have heard, what I have seen, what I have smelt. Yes, I should be able to keep it in my memory. If I am able to keep only what I hear, then what I have seen, I will forget. So, all the Pancha Mahabhuta, Satvika department, all put together. Individually, individual sense organ is created. When we combined Samashti Satvika Amshat, Samashti means all put together in totality. When we put all these together, only Satvika department of each and every Pancha Mahabhuta together. Then Manasu, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara, these are formed. See the beauty of it. From each and every department, one sense organ is created, but Manasu, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara is created by collective Satvika Amsha of the Pancha Mahabhutas. Mind listens to something, sees something, smells something. If I am walking on the road, I get to know that, wow, nice smell, somebody is preparing biryani. How do I know? Through the smell, smriti, it is there in my mind, my memory, it is there. This smell means it is biryani. See how much of work our body is doing. It's a wonderful machine, rather the best machine that we can see in this world is our own cells. So much of work that the sense organs, the mind, buddhi, all these are working together. They are all in one team. Because Satvika Amsha all put together, it is Manas. It should be able to see, it should be able to hear, smell, etc. Then what about Buddhi? Don't we need Buddhi for all these? Combined. Not only for only seeing, only hearing. No. All the five sense organs together. Along with the mind they work. Sometimes we are very sad for some reason. Somebody is calling me Jyoti, Jyoti. The word is falling on my ears, but it is not getting registered here. Why? Because the mind is not there. So mind along with the sense organs, only when they work together only, it is of use. Otherwise you say something also, nothing gets registered here when the mind is not all right. So mind and the sense organs, they work together. Similarly buddhi, similarly our memory, they all should work together. That is the reason why our Vedas have declared that this Chitta, Ahankara, all these are born out of Samashti Satvika Amsha. Satvika Amsha of each and every Mahabhutas. Then, Sankalpa Vikalpatmakam Manaha. What is Manas? Sankalpa Vikalpatmaka. Either this or that. Should I buy this sari or should I buy that sari? Should I listen to Tattva class or should I quit the class? Should I study this or should I study that? Isn't it? So much of confusion. Should I prepare this vegetable today or other vegetable? Oh, no, yesterday only I prepared this. The memory says, Jyoti, yesterday only I prepared this. Don't prepare the same thing again today. Isn't it? See how they are all working together. So here Manas says, Sankalpa, Vikalpa. This or that, this or that. Manas keeps on oscillating. Whereas, Nishchayatmika Buddhihi. The decision maker is Buddhi, intellect. Mind keeps on oscillating. Then, decision is taken by this Buddhi with the help of Smriti also. Let us see that. Ahankarta, Ahankaraha. Ahankara. Here, Ahankara is not that pride or so. It is individual self. I am. In the night, should somebody tell me that where I am, even if it is dark, I know I am there. I know I am attending class. I know I am speaking. That I am. That is Ahankaraha. Not about pride, etc. Then Chintana Kartru Chittam. Chintana Kartru Chittam. Smriti, memory, keeps on contemplating and storing. What are we storing? 50 years back, somebody has insulted me. I remember that very well. The dress that I wore then, the dress that that person wore, and who all were there, what all did they say? What did that person say? How did I react? Everything is here stored as a movie. Similarly, so many such, probably more of negative incidents are stored here. So we don't have space to store our Tattva Bodha here. That is why the next day we don't remember what we learned today. Today when we hear, it is very easy, what is there? Tomorrow, what was there? What was the topic? Nothing we remember. Why? Memory is full. Even in our mobiles we come across this. If you have stored so many photos, videos, audios, etc., then it says memory full. You cannot further store anything. That is what is happening to all of us. We have stored so many unwanted things over there that what is needed, we don't have space to store. Now, it is time for us to understand what should I store, what should I ignore. If you think that should not come in my mind, that should not come in my mind, that only will come. So we should not focus on that. Focus on the topic that has to be stored here strongly, like Tattvabodha. So here, Chintana Kartru Chittam. How that is important for us to make any decision. We need to have memory. Even if you want to buy a sari, if you go to the shop and buy one sari and come back home and see in the cupboard, oh, same sari I have got. I completely forgot that I have a same sari. Isn't it? So how memory is needed for us? We have to work along with memory. Our sense organs, mind, buddhi, memory, everything should be working together in harmony. Now next he says, Manaso Devata Chandramaha. We have already seen the different deities for different organs. Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas we have seen. Now he is giving the different deities for this Antakarana. Manaso Devata Chandrama, moon. Moon is the presiding deity of our Manas. That is why it is said that during Amavasya Purnima, new moon day, full moon day, mind keeps on oscillating, especially people who have got some mental issue. For them it aggravates. If somebody argues without any base, and if it happens to be either Purnima like today or Amavasya, then we ask that person, what happened today, Purnima or Amavasya? Why are you talking like this? That means your manas is not all right. Because Manaso Devata Chandramaha. Buddhehe Brahma. For Buddhi, Brahma is the deity. Brahma's creative energy is given the name as Saraswati. So we say Saraswati is the goddess of knowledge. Because she is the deity for Buddhi, or deity is given as Brahma. The creative energy of Brahma is that Saraswati. Ahankarasya Rudraha. For Ahankara, for I am. For that Ahankara, it is Rudra. Rudra, the word means one who makes you cry, is Rudra. Now, Ahankarasya Devata Rudra. When this Ahankara, it increases, then definitely it is dukkha only for us. So we have to destroy that Ahankara. That is why Rudra chanting they do. Saying that, let my pride, let my Ahankara come down or destroy this Ahankara, because he is Rudra, is the Devata for Ahankara. Chittasya Vasudevaha. Chitta is memory. For memory, the presiding deity is Vasudeva. That is why people say that if you want to have good memory, chant Vishnu Sahasranama. Because for Chitta, Vasudeva is the presiding deity. So here, today's session we have seen how the Sukshma Panchamahabhutas and Sukshma Jnanendriyas are created. These all have been created by Maya. So Maya has got three qualities, Sattva, Raja, Tama. Since these Panchabhutas have come from Maya, they also will have, each one will have these three qualities. And we are all made up of only this Panchamahabhutas. So definitely we also have, rather the universe has got these three qualities. We are made up of only Panchamahabhutas. Nothing else is there in us. When it is so, why are we fighting for caste? This caste, that's a superior caste, this is a lower caste. Because everything, everybody is Panchamahabhutas, only nothing else is there. So this is only for our understanding. That information is given to us. Not that you have to sit and by heart which choice come first, who was created first. These things are not necessary. But the later part, he says that through Karmendriya, rather through Rajoguna, Raja department, Karmendriyas are created. Tama department, the sthula bodies are created, as well as the universe. So this is for our understanding only. As he said, for good memory, we have to chant Vishnu Sahasranama, and Nama, any Nama we can chant for fantastic memory. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, 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 Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityormamritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu.